Zeb Schrader. Here's a story about the MGR clique that proves that they're exactly that. A clique out to benefit themselves over everyone else. I should note that this didn't affect me directly, but I had a front row seat for the crap that MGR and Radical Reggie pulled. This happened, I'd say, around 2 years ago. Might be longer, doesn't really matter. I was in a video game collectors group on Facebook. At the time, I was a fan of MGR and his crew, and it was one that MGR himself was in and recommended. The entire crew was supposedly members, never cared enough to look, to be honest, and for months we had a fun time. MGR would pop in from time to time, but didn't really do anything. Then the proverbial crap hit the fan. One of the more popular members of the group, and a friend of mine, was made an administrator. This administrator wasn't a YouTuber or anything. They just liked the system we were collecting for on the page. This friend made content for the page that was received very well by all its members, myself included. Shortly after, Reggie tries his hands at making some of the same kind of content for the page. It wasn't an awful turnout by any means, especially for something locked behind a Facebook group, but it wasn't pulling in the same amount of people as my friend's post like this, which apparently upsets Reggie. Now, I don't know all the details of what happened because I wasn't an administrator, so I didn't get to be a part of the chat behind the scenes, but from what I've gathered from said friends and other person who is still a member on that page, is Reggie went to MGR, who used his influence to convince the owner of the page to demote my friend and give the vacant administrator spot to Reggie. Shortly after, my friend was forced out of the group because of more background politics due to MGR pulling some strings so his buddy could reap the benefits. If you're in the clique, he's a great person because he'll pull whatever stunt to put his crew over anyone else any way he can, even in a closed Facebook group. So these are grown men, right? These are grown men, right? I don't... So here's what I know about Reggie. Reggie, I don't know if he still does, for the longest time, he hid his subscriber count. He hid how many subscribers he has. And a lot of people wondered why he does that. Well, it's probably because maybe, John Hancock and Metal Jesus, they have many more subscribers than him. So maybe he felt like a little inadequate because of that. But we're talking about a Facebook group where someone else had a really, and I've never been to these like groups. I don't know how a lot of these things work, but I'll take a stab that he got jealous of this non-YouTuber because I guess he couldn't do something just as good. You said when he tried his hand making some of the same kind of content, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't pulling the same amount of people as your friend's post. He probably got embarrassed, right? It's because, see, the thing is, these people in some of these cliques, and that's one reason they stick together in the clique, they get their clique bigger, and then they have more power and influence or whatever, but they just get it in their mind that they're so much better than everybody else. Especially non-YouTubers. I would say with successful non-YouTubers, game collectors or whatnot, they might have the most vitriol, really. Because it's just like a little echo chamber for them. They make their little cliques, they stand their little cliques, they form their little partnerships, and they don't see that when they do that, well, here's what it should do. Sadly, it should actually show people that they don't give a crap about really anyone else other than who's in their clique.